Gemini, someone close is secretly rooting for your downfall, but you'll outsmart them. Gemini, what if the person you call friend is quietly hoping for your failure? You've sensed it. That strange heaviness in a conversation that should have lifted you up. The awkward silence after you share a win. The delayed response when you reveal your dreams. It's not paranoia, it's perception. And today, the universe is handing you the blueprint to see what's been hidden in plain sight. I'm Elizabeth, your spiritual guide here at Esoteric Wisdom. If you've been feeling unusually drained around certain people, second-guessing your plans, or watching strange misfortunes follow your good news, stay with me. What I'm about to share with you isn't just a warning. It's a revelation. Mercury, your ruling planet, is stirring the air with sharp clarity this week. And Gemini, your gift is your mind, fast, adaptable, intuitive. But lately, something or someone has been slowing you down, whispering doubt, distracting you. That ends today. In this message, we'll uncover the signature signs of silent sabotage. You'll see who's been masking envy as support. And more importantly, you'll rediscover the mental sovereignty that makes you impossible to manipulate. So take a breath. Let your twin selves, light and shadow, be present for what's coming. You were never meant to fall for their illusion. You were meant to expose it. Now, are you ready to see who it really is? Chapter 1. The smile that drains you. How to spot the silent saboteur. Gemini, let's begin with the first and most dangerous form of betrayal. The person whose presence drains you, but whose smile fools you into staying close. This individual is not a cartoon villain. They're not shouting from rooftops or plotting in the shadows of some ominous room. They are kind. They are present. They know your favorite drink and remember your birthday. And still, they rejoice in your setbacks. Why? Because your light unnerves them. Your ruling planet, Mercury, gifts you with agility of thought, a magnetic intellect, and a voice that commands attention when you dare to speak your truth. But this same radiance, your cleverness, your fluidity, your charisma, becomes unbearable to someone close who has not yet made peace with their own dullness, their own indecision, or worse, their fear of evolution. The energy you've been feeling, that heaviness after you share good news, is not in your head. Gemini, you are ruled by air, and air always knows when something is off. You may not have had the evidence, but your subtle senses have been collecting data. And now it's time to listen. The first clue, delayed support. Notice the timing. When you achieve something, a promotion, a win, even just a great idea, how long does it take them to respond? Do they downplay it? Does the conversation change quickly? Does their tone shift? Energy doesn't lie. The person who pauses too long before clapping might be struggling with your success. The second clue, sabotage disguised as advice. Gemini, you love dialogue, but this person uses it as a weapon. They give you advice that plants seeds of doubt. Are you sure you're ready for that? You always change your mind. Maybe you should wait. Their words arrive wrapped in concern, but underneath is fear. Not fear for your safety, fear of your growth. Because your evolution means they can no longer control the narrative. The third clue, your energy drops around them. You are naturally high vibration, bouncing between ideas, always seeking the next thing. But lately, have you noticed that when you're around this one person, your spark fades? You leave feeling confused, or small, or like your plans suddenly seem pointless. That's not coincidence. That's energetic interference. What you're experiencing is not drama, it's psychic resistance. And with Mercury now forming a tense square to Neptune, illusions are being shattered. You're seeing through the fog. Conversations that once felt supportive now feel subtly poisonous. Laughter that once comforted you feels hollow. Don't ignore this shift. It is your cosmic protection activating. The spiritual reason why they're around you. There's always a deeper reason for betrayal, Gemini. Nothing is random. This person entered your life not to destroy you, but to awaken your discernment. As a mutable sign, you often adapt to those around you. But this lesson is about setting boundaries that protect your air, your ideas, your truth. You see, not every connection is meant to be a permanent bridge. Some are meant to be tunnels. temporary, transformative, designed to lead you somewhere deeper, not somewhere permanent. This is your initiation. You are learning how to detach without guilt, how to love without being blind, how to protect your path without making an enemy of those who no longer walk beside you. What to do right now? Gemini, start by withdrawing your energetic exposure. Stop telling this person your dreams. Let your silence speak. Mercury's current movement calls for observation, not confrontation. Take notes. Literally. Journal how you feel before and after interactions with them. Track your emotions. Track your energy levels. Let your logic do what your empathy might hesitate to. And when the moment of confirmation comes, and it will, as the moon approaches its revealing angle to Pluto, you will not be surprised. You will be ready. You will say, I felt this long before I saw it. One last truth for this chapter. Not everyone who claps for you wants to see you win. Some people only want proximity to your light so they can dim it, distort it, or feed off it. But you, Gemini, were born under a sign of divine duality. You carry both the messenger and the magician. And now the magician awakens. Now you stop explaining yourself. Now you stop apologizing for sensing what others pretend not to see. The smile that drains you is a mask. And this week, it slips. Chapter 2, When Plans Fall Apart, the energetic trail of sabotage. Gemini, let's speak of moments that slip through your fingers, those near successes that crumbled without explanation, the almost opportunities that vanished into silence, the strange timing of things going wrong just after you told someone about your dream. You've chalked it up to coincidence, Mercury retrograde, or simply bad luck. But what if I told you that many of those breakdowns weren't circumstantial at all, but intentionally influenced? Energetically disrupted? Pulled apart by someone who thrives when you're stuck? Your ruling planet, Mercury, governs communication, connection, and cognition. That makes you both a magnet and a mirror. You attract people with your ideas, but you also reveal their insecurities simply by being you. And not everyone can handle what you reflect back. Now we go deeper. How your words become targets. When you speak your vision, you breathe life into it. But when you speak it in the wrong ears, Gemini, you risk distortion. There is someone close to you, a friend, a colleague, even a family member, who listens carefully not to support you, but to study you. They collect your dreams like data. And then energetically, or even practically, they interfere. You tell them about a project. Days later, a door that was open shuts. You share your plans to change cities or switch jobs. Suddenly, confusion clouds your decision. You feel excited until you feel watched. This is not paranoia. This is pattern. Mercury's current alignment to Saturn exposes timelines, when things started to go wrong, and who was present when they did. This isn't magic. It's magnetic consequence. And I know this might be hard to hear, Gemini, because part of your gift is connection. You live to share, to speak, to process life in dialogue. But this chapter in your journey is about silence, about spiritual confidentiality. Why this pattern keeps repeating? Because you've mistaken proximity for loyalty. Because you believe in the power of redemption and second chances, perhaps too much. Because you confuse empathy with responsibility. But the truth is, the person who wants you small will never celebrate your expansion. And they don't need to scream. All they need to do is subtly doubt you. Plant a few questions. Delay your momentum with just enough friction to make you second-guess your next step. And because you are Gemini ruled by thought and meaning-making, you loop. You overthink. You replay. You internalize. That's how sabotage works on you, not through destruction, but through delay. The energetic consequence of sharing with the wrong person. Words carry current. Plans carry frequency. Every time you speak them aloud, you're casting a net into the quantum. But when you speak them into someone who holds resentment or secret competitiveness, that net returns tangled. You don't need a spell to be cursed. You only need to be mirrored by someone who disbelieves in you hard enough to disrupt your field. That is the spiritual sabotage Mercury is unveiling now. How to track the interference. I want you to go back, mentally, over the last 6 to 12 months. List 5 moments where something was supposed to move forward, but instead collapsed. Now ask, who knew about it before it fell apart? Who was there when you were excited and seemed off afterward? Who offered advice that left you more confused than clear? Who always seems to have a subtle excuse for why your ideas are unrealistic, risky, or too much? Patterns are truth made visible. If the same person is connected to multiple moments of disruption, that is not chance. That is a message. Gemini, you must become more mysterious. This is your call to recalibrate how you share. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your becoming. Not everyone is a safe container for your dreams. Let Mercury teach you discernment, not silence, but sacred curation. Share your plans only after they are already in motion. Let results be your language. Let alignment be your announcement. This is not about fear. It's about spiritual strategy. You are not meant to walk through life as an open broadcast tower for others to tune into. Your ideas are sacred technology, and they must be shielded from static, from sabotage, from spectators who want to see you stumble more than succeed. A shift in vibration begins now. Once you stop sharing with the wrong people, you will feel your momentum return. Projects will flow again. The fog will lift. It won't even require confrontation. Just distance. Just discretion. And when the disruption no longer touches your timeline, you'll understand just how much power your words have and how sacred your circle must become. You're not imagining the sabotage. You've been overlooking it. But no more. This is the chapter where you reclaim the air around you. Clear. Light. Forward moving. Chapter 3. When the mirror breaks. Facing the one who wished you harm. Gemini, the moment you've been sensing is here. You feel it in your stomach before your mind can grasp it, a shift in how you see someone you once held close. It may start as a flinch, a hesitation, a single moment of recognition. But once it arrives, you can't unsee it. The person who applauded your dreams was also the one quietly rooting for them to fail. The mirror has cracked. And now, you must decide, will you gather the pieces and pretend it's whole? Or will you face what's been hiding in plain sight? You've always been curious about people, Gemini. Your mind is agile, your heart generous. But those qualities come with a price. Sometimes you give people more benefit of the doubt than they deserve. You allow proximity to masquerade as trust. You confuse shared memories for loyalty. But now, with Mercury illuminating the shadows through its harsh aspect with Pluto, clarity arrives like a sudden gust that blows the fog clean away. How you'll know it's them. This person doesn't always act maliciously. Sometimes, they even believe they care about you. But their energy tells a different story. Watch how they react when good news finds you. Do they celebrate with their full chest, or offer tight-lipped smiles and backhanded compliments? Pay attention to their presence in your lows. Are they there to lift you, or to confirm their internal belief that you're not as strong as you pretend to be? Often, those who envy us most are the ones who wanted to be us at some point. And when they couldn't keep up with your pace, your brilliance, they decided to slow you down instead. Gemini, it's a hard truth, but one you were born to navigate. You are ruled by Mercury, messenger of the gods. You were never meant to stay blind. You were meant to see, and then speak that truth into power. When you face them, don't expect an admission. Here's the cruel twist. The one who sabotaged you may never admit it. They may gaslight, minimize, or even cry. They may say, "You're imagining things," or "I was just trying to help." But you don't need their confession. The proof is in the energetic aftermath. The anxiety that followed every interaction. The confusion that clung to your ideas like static. The sense of shrinking when you should have felt expanded. And when you confront them, not necessarily with words, but with withdrawal, the truth will confirm itself. Because your silence will irritate them more than your speech. Your distance will disturb them more than your anger. Why? Because they depended on access to your field to feel powerful. And now, the field is closed. How to reclaim your power without revenge. You may feel anger, Gemini. That's natural. You may want to expose them, burn the bridge, shout from the rooftops. But you are an air sign, and air doesn't need to rage to rise. What you need is clarity, closure, and an energetic firewall. This is your prescription. Energetic closure before verbal closure. Don't confront for validation. Disconnect first. Journal it. Burn a letter. Speak their name to the sky and declare it. Your influence over me ends here. Words are spells, and your voice is sacred. Stop explaining yourself. You owe no justification for protecting your peace. Let your new boundaries speak volumes. They will notice the withdrawal. Let them wonder. Choose who has access to your future. You are stepping into a chapter where only those who genuinely celebrate you can stay. It's not cruelty. It's evolution. And here's the miracle of Mercury. Once the clutter is cleared, new insights rush in. Better alliances form. Your path brightens. Decisions feel obvious again. It's not magic. It's the absence of distortion. How the universe will affirm your choice. After this revelation, confirmation will come in waves. A sudden opportunity will appear. Someone new will speak the words you needed to hear, unprovoked. A truth will be exposed without you seeking it. And you'll realize, removing this one presence from your energy was like pulling a thorn from your side. You had learned to live with it. But now that it's gone, you feel whole again. Gemini, this is spiritual maturity. You are no longer available for friendships that feed on your confusion. No longer available for conversations that cloak critique in fake concern. No longer a safe harbor for those who wish you harm in silence, but wear masks of kindness. This is the path of a healed air sign. To speak truth, yes, but to also protect it. You will always be curious, always connecting, always learning. But now you are discerning. That is what Mercury's dance with Pluto has activated in you. Not fear, but forensic perception. And with that comes freedom. Chapter 4. Your light was never meant to be dimmed. Gemini, do you remember the first time someone suggested you were too much? Too talkative, too curious, too unpredictable? Maybe they said it with a laugh. Maybe they wrapped it in love. But deep down, it left a mark. This chapter is about healing that wound. Because what if I told you that the very thing someone tried to tone down in you was the source of your divine assignment? Let's go deeper. Your energy is magnetic, and that scares people. You are Mercury's chosen. Words bend around you. Ideas find their way into the world through you. You change minds, rewire conversations, and open doors just by asking the right question at the right time. But this kind of gift is threatening to those who fear change. So instead of celebrating your brilliance, they try to manage it. They tell you to sit still when you were born to wander. They tell you to quiet down when your voice was made to call truth out of hiding. And over time, piece by piece, you started to adapt. You made yourself smaller in rooms that couldn't hold your full sky. You wore stillness like armor. You turned your light into a whisper. But here's what no one told you. Hiding doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you trapped. Mercury and Saturn's recent square, a cosmic awakening. Astrologically, the cosmos has not been subtle. With Mercury squaring Saturn recently, your inner voice, your intuition, has been trying to cut through the noise. This square is like a cosmic test. Will you conform to keep peace? Or will you claim your truth even if it makes others uncomfortable? The energy may have felt heavy lately. Foggy. You've had days where everything you say feels misunderstood. Plans stall. People misread your intentions. But this was not punishment. It was preparation. You are not the Gemini of a year ago. This version of you is learning to stop apologizing for outgrowing spaces that once felt like home. You can't heal in the place that made you sick. The person or people who tried to sabotage you. Yes, they played their part, but deeper still is the pattern. The pattern where you seek approval instead of alignment. Where you stay in relationships just because you've invested time, even when your soul is starving for depth. Where you doubt your own insights the moment someone else questions them. Gemini, this week marks the end of that chapter. Not because it's a neat story arc, but because you've outgrown the vibration of betrayal disguised as care. You're not just cutting ties. You're breaking a karmic contract. The universe will test this new you. As the days unfold, you will be tested. The one who drains your energy might call, text, or coincidentally show up again. They might sense that their access to you is slipping, and they'll try to reattach. But remember, the lesson is not complete until it's embodied. You must learn to say no without guilt, to protect your time and energy without explanation, to speak your truth even when your voice trembles. This is the moment where clarity becomes conviction. You are meant to be a disruptor of stagnant systems. You're not here to blend in. You are a sign of air. Movement is your nature. Dialogue is your tool. Duality is your superpower. In a world addicted to certainty, your flexibility is radical. In a culture that fears change, your adaptability is sacred. So yes, people who are stuck may misread you. They may resent you. They may try to block your path. But they cannot stop your rising. Not anymore. You've seen the truth. You've felt the energy. You know what dissonance feels like in your nervous system. And now you choose something different. What happens when you claim your light? Let me tell you a story. Sophia, a Gemini client of mine in her late 50s, always felt the need to accommodate everyone. She was the peacemaker, the one who made things easier for others, even when it cost her sleep, health, or dignity. Last year, during a similar Mercury-Pluto cycle, she had a dream. In it, her younger self looked her in the eyes and said, "Why do you keep leaving me behind?" She woke up sobbing. That was the day she stopped trying to be digestible for people who had no appetite for her brilliance. She set new boundaries, left a friendship that had been covertly toxic for years. And 3 months later, she launched a workshop series that sold out, something she had dreamed of for decades. Why do I tell you this? Because that voice inside you, the one whispering that you are meant for more, isn't lying. It's your future self, trying to reach back through time and pull you forward. Gemini, it's time to stop apologizing for who you are becoming. The person who tried to sabotage you underestimated one thing: your ability to transform pain into power. They thought a shadow could dim the sun. But you are air and light and language. And you are not afraid anymore. Let them watch as you rise, not with rage, but with radiance. Let them see what happens when a Gemini stops second-guessing herself and starts speaking with soul. Conclusion, Gemini, you are the storm and the stillness. Gemini, this journey was never about proving yourself to anyone. It was about remembering who you were before they told you to shrink. It was about reclaiming the parts of you that were scattered across years of people-pleasing, confusion, and hidden sabotage. You've come face to face with truths that were once too painful to name. And now, with that truth in your hands, you're not broken. You are liberated. You no longer owe silence to those who mistook your kindness for weakness. You no longer owe loyalty to those who celebrated your struggles behind closed doors. And you certainly do not owe another second to the belief that playing small will keep you safe. You are Mercury's twin flame, born to reflect and refract truth. You bring light into rooms that have forgotten how to name themselves. And that is not a threat. It's a blessing. So here's your invitation. Speak. Decide. Move. Create. Not because they gave you permission, but because your soul already did. If this message has stirred something inside you, if it awakened a knowing you've tried to ignore, let that be your confirmation. Like this video if you are done making yourself smaller. Comment below. I am reclaiming my space. Subscribe to Esoteric Wisdom because we are only just beginning to uncover your deeper cosmic purpose. And share this with someone whose light deserves to shine freely again. And remember this, Gemini. You are not too much. They were just not enough to hold your magic. The sabotage ends here. The story begins again, with you, in full truth, at the center of your own orbit. Now tell me in the comments, what truth are you ready to finally speak aloud?